How were we created? Today, we will reflect on one question. How were we created? From the history of humanity to the daily rhythm of our lives, everything is fascinating and a little mysterious. Sometimes it's someone's life, achievements, or sometimes a legend. Each evokes a sense of wonder in us. Every place that carries the traces of history is interesting. Every stone, every city, every sound tells a story and makes us think. After the world was created, a stage came when humans came into existence. Indeed, our lives are spent questioning, learning, and exploring. But our creation was not accidental. Every human being exists with a purpose. Think about different people's lives. Some sit and ponder, some are alone, while others enjoy the company of people around them. Some lie down and rest. Some cannot sleep, just staring at the ceiling or looking far away. Some cook, some eat. Everyone lives at a different pace. The world is this alive and moving. On one side, people start their day, while on the other, some are still asleep. In such a busy world, sometimes everyone pauses for a moment and wonders, how did God create humans? How were we created? Why is there so much diversity? Where does our end lead? Each of us chooses different paths in life, experiences different journeys. But all these differences exist within a greater plan. The system created by God encompasses everything: night and day, earth and sky, water and plants, animals and humans. Every detail, including our differences, is part of this great harmony. Sometimes life seems very difficult and complex. We get tired, confused, and sometimes we don't understand why things are the way they are. But creation itself teaches us that everything has a reason. We are merely witnesses to this creation. Our learning, questioning, and thinking are all part of the grand plan that God has created. Every unique person, every different life rhythm, every path we choose, all of it holds a place within the great harmony of this universe. As we try to understand our lives, we are, in fact, witnessing the miracle created by God. And this diversity, this variety, teaches us that life itself is a miracle. Thus, when we look at the world, we see that every detail, stars, the sun, earth, seas, plants, animals, humans, is interconnected. We are simply part of this connection. Our existence, every different thought, every unique experience, all serve a purpose. Every moment of our life, every choice, every difference is a piece of a greater miracle. Let's take a moment to think deeply together. The environment we live in, everything we see, is interconnected. Every living being, every event affects one another, depends on one another. The fact that something exists means that it has a purpose. But as humans, how were we created? Did we come into the world to make an impact? Or did we simply come into existence by chance? Perhaps it's the other way around. The world would have continued without us, but we arrived, and everything became a little different. Different people's thoughts, different life paths, different decisions. In this complex and interconnected structure of life, each of our roles is not random. Every person, every decision, every unique experience can be a part of a greater plan. Our existence is not only for ourselves. It changes everything around us, every moment, and every event. There are approximately 8 billion people living in the world. These people believe in different religions, while some do not believe in any creator at all. Every different belief, every different thought raises a question. Why is humanity so diverse? Why do people living on the same planet and sharing the same life choose such different paths? As someone who believes in the Creator, exploring these questions has always fascinated me. I am especially drawn to reading the texts of the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran. Interestingly, the teachings of these three books are very similar, complement each other, yet people are divided by them. Why does this knowledge system, which shares the same roots, create such diversity in people's thoughts and life paths? This is not just a religious question. It is a profound question about humanity, thought, and life itself. Let's continue this journey together. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. According to the three holy books, the first human created was named Adam. God created Adam from the earth. Of course, most people who read this already know this information. But when you think about it, it may seem like a miracle to some, a human being created from the earth. For me, however, this idea doesn't sound unrealistic. When we look at the world, we see that people are different, our colors are different, our characters are different, our thoughts are different. The earth itself is the same. It is not the same everywhere. In a world with such diversity, the creation of humans from the earth doesn't seem so strange to me, because everything is in his hands. Some people who do not believe in God, however, believe that humans originated from monkeys. They think that humans evolved over time, developing from other creatures into what we are today. For them, this is a scientific approach that can explain everything, and they believe that every being must have a purely material cause. For me, this scientific perspective does not entirely contradict the belief in creation. Science tries to explain how things happened, while faith asks why they happened. For some, humans are merely the result of evolution. For others, they are consciously created beings. In the end, everyone follows the path they see, understand, and believe in. The exact truth, however, is known only to the Creator. As for us, we think, question, and search. And that is what truly makes a human being human. But was the human created from the earth's first arrival on earth? According to the 3 holy books, the human created from the earth did not first appear on earth. The first human, Adam, was created in paradise and lived there. In other words, the creation is described like this. Adam was created from the earth, a soul was breathed into him. He was given knowledge, and then he was placed in paradise. Earth, then, became a place he came to later. This is a very important point because it shows us that Earth is not the first home of humans. Earth is the place of testing. Humans come here temporarily. Perhaps this is why we constantly feel that something is missing. No matter how much we acquire, we are never fully satisfied. It's as if there is a place that feels more familiar to us, yet we cannot remember it. According to faith, this feeling is connected to humanity's first home being paradise. In other words, humans were created from the earth, but they were not placed directly on it. First, their value was shown, they were taught, they were introduced. Only afterward did life on earth begin. From this perspective, earth is not a place of punishment, but a place of testing and learning. Here, we show who we are, what choices we make, and what we are drawn to. And in the end, the same question remains. Are we here in this world merely to live, or are we here to return to where we began in a worthy way? Why, then, was man sent from paradise to earth? This is a beautiful question. To answer why he was sent down, we must first understand what happened in paradise. Everything in paradise was peaceful. Adam had been created, a soul had been breathed into him, and knowledge had been given. He was in paradise. There was no fear, no hunger, no need. Everything was ready. It was an ideal environment for humans. But paradise was not a place without a test. God clearly told Adam, "You may benefit from everything in paradise, but do not approach one particular tree." This prohibition was not so that Adam would remain hungry or that something would be hidden from him. It was simply a test of obedience and choice, because what makes humans human is the ability to make choices. And at that moment, Satan entered the scene. He did not force Adam to do anything. He merely whispered, planting doubt. He said that the tree was forbidden because if Adam ate from it, he would become a greater being, eternal. Here is a very subtle point. Adam did not sin out of rebellion or arrogance. He was simply deceived. In accordance with human nature, curious, hopeful, and misled, he approached the forbidden tree. With this event, something changed. Adam immediately realized his mistake. He did not defend his sin. He did not blame it on someone else. He immediately repented and asked God for forgiveness. This is very important. Humans sinned, but they knew how to repent. Satan, on the other hand, sinned and claimed he was right. The central event in paradise was precisely this. Humans sinned, but returned to God. Satan sinned, but remained in arrogance. And after this, the next stage began. Humans were sent out of paradise, not as a punishment, but as a test. Because humans had shown that they were not only beings who obey, but also beings who make mistakes, repent, and seek the right path. Thus, the question is really this. Why was man sent from paradise? The answer begins here. Humans were not yet ready to stay in paradise, but they were worthy enough to eventually return. So, why was Earth chosen as the place of testing? The answer to this question lies in a very calm, deep, and profoundly human truth. Why was Earth chosen as the place of testing? Because in paradise, there was no choice. There was no hunger, no fear, no suffering, no need. And in a place without need, there can be no patience, no struggle, no decision-making. But humans were not created merely as beings who obey. Humans were given will, the right to choose, and the ability to distinguish between good and evil. And this can only appear in a place of limitation. This is why Earth exists. Here, there is hunger so that humans learn patience. Here, there is fear so that humans learn to seek refuge in God. Here, there is lack so that humans learn gratitude. Here, there is error so that humans learn to repent. If humans had remained in paradise, they would have been comfortable, but they would not have truly become human. They would have been mere beings obeying what is given. Earth, however, is the place that cultivates, shapes, and matures humans. Here, humans are not alone. Satan is present, but not by force, through whispering. The ego exists, but without coercion. And the choice is always in the hands of humans. God intended this so that humans choose goodness not out of compulsion, but out of desire. So that worship is performed not out of fear, but out of love. Good deeds are done not for reward, but with conscience. Patience is exercised because of faith. Earth is the place of testing because it is here that humans reveal who they truly are. Paradise is the place of reward. Earth is the place of preparation. Here, everything is partial. Joy is partial. Pain is partial. Happiness is partial. Because this place was created not for eternity, but for choice. The finest truth is this: God did not cast humans here. God gave humans a chance to return when they err, to rise when they fall, to repent when they stray. Humans were sent out of paradise so that they could regain it with their true worth. I believe what separates us from one another is neither our color, nor where we come from, nor our nationality. These are only external differences, visible to the eye, but they do not define the essence of a human being. The true difference lies in our choices. Think of two people born in the same city. They breathe the same air, speak the same language, grow up on the same land. Yet one chooses compassion, the other indifference. One chooses honesty, the other the easy lie. One chooses forgiveness, the other harbors resentment. Here is where separation begins. Color is not a matter of choice. Where we are born is not within our will. Race, language, nationality, these are our starting points. But what kind of person we become, who we turn into, how we treat others, these are our choices. God asks humans precisely this: what have you done with what was given to you? History shows that people of the same color have oppressed one another, while people of different colors have treated each other as brothers. This proves that what separates us is not our skin, but our hearts. Not geography, but intention. Not race, but behavior. If color were the main factor, God would not have created us differently. If location were the main factor, truth would exist only in one land. But God created humans in diversity, so that we may know one another, not to consider ourselves superior to one another. The choice was given to everyone. The choice to be good, the choice to be just, the choice to be conscientious. In the end, the only thing that truly separates us is not who we are, but how we live. And this is written not in color, but in choice.